Thank you for tuning in. I'm Rachel Kirkland with WashingtonExec, and with me today is Debbie Peterson of MetroStar. Debbie works as MetroStar's Senior Vice President of People and Culture, and our topic for today is how to build a strong organizational culture in hybrid work settings. Debbie, thank you for coming on today.
Thank you so much, Rachel. It's really exciting to get to share this with you. And I know it's a topic a lot of us are thinking about and obsessing about almost. So I'm happy to be here.
Absolutely. Tell us about your role at MetroStar.
Sure. So, as you said, I'm the Senior Vice President of People and Culture here at MetroStar, and I've had the tremendous pleasure of being with the organization for nearly 10 years now. Really started as a coordinator and have had this unique experience of holding a role at every level up to now a Senior Vice President. And for us, People and Culture encompasses people operations or HR, talent acquisition or recruiting, and then marketing. So, the three pillars that make up all of the people and cultural experience of the organization. And for us, the people and culture, our team, our vision is really about developing simple people-centric processes that enhance the employee experience at MetroStar. And I am working out of our Reston headquarters.
Wonderful. How does MetroStar approach hybrid work?
Yeah, so we've really started with defining this. I mean, slightly before the pandemic, but the pandemic definitely changed a lot for us. So, what we did first is really thought about what are MetroStar's needs and our goals as we look into the future, and then how do we really look at the objectives of what hybrid work means. And so, for us, the executive team came out with three sort of core tenets of hybrid work, which is how do we help our people maintain flexibility? How do we retain talent? And how do we also balance productivity and the customer needs? So MetroStar is a government contractor. We have to make sure that we're meeting those customer missions. And with that, we came up with a plan which we call Work Where You Need to. So this strategy really builds on MetroStar's culture code. And it says that we want to make sure that we embrace the trust and openness for all of our people. And we want to empower them to be in the space where they're most productive.
So, as you mentioned, COVID did usher in this era of remote and hybrid work environments. Can you expand on how all of this changed company culture?
Yeah. So, MetroStar, one thing that's been really beautiful about MetroStar is we've had a unique culture that was rooted in our co-founders who formed the company while they were students at George Mason. And so this was a huge conversation for us because you were so used to, walking down a hall or shooting across a desk and saying, "Can I get help with this?" And that changed dramatically. So we really prioritized flexibility and autonomy. We wanted to know, what does it look like now? How do we need to know that it's also different among teams? So a team that is working in our client solutions group, which is our internal R&D incubator, if you will, operates very differently than a team who is supporting the State Department. So we really started to identify what does that look like and how are each of those teams defining that? And then how do we root that all back into our culture code? So some of the things we came up with that became different is really thinking more about MetroStar as a results oriented organization. So historically, not just MetroStar, but most companies were more about that work hours that you were putting in. And we really started to say, but what's the results that you're getting from the time that you're invested? What do you achieve from the hours that you're working? We also really prioritize adaptability and innovation. So we realized that a strategy that we deployed in 2021 has changed a lot in 2023 because the world around us has continued to change. So we wanted to continue embracing that adaptability and innovation and really wanted to rely on our ability to pivot quickly as a company, whether it's deploying new tools or whether it's redefining with managers about what productivity means to them, and then just taking those cues from our people. Where are people thriving? What are those teams doing? Can we amplify and expand that across the organization and ensure that we're creating value for our people?
How do you also maintain somewhat of a sense of unity and belonging in hybrid work settings?
Yeah, I mean, it's such a big one. And I don't think that we've ever gotten to a place where we feel like, man, we've got this 100% right. Because unity and belonging is a constant work and investment that you have to stay focused on. So some of the things that we have done that have worked really well for us is just embracing clear communication. We really amplified and increased the cadence of communications in partnership with our marketing team, where we now have more newsletters going out. We're going to do our first edition of a print newsletter, which we're excited about. It seems like it's a backwards move, but I actually think it's a forwards move because people are so accustomed to getting the emails now. So now it makes something tangible a bit more unique. We use Teams channels. We have quarterly CEO firesides. We have monthly all hands, which we call the huddle, where we have executives presenting on what we're doing in the organization. And then just bringing in virtual and in-person activities. So whether it is taking our teams to the Nationals game, or there was a cooking lesson that our Indianapolis team did, whether it's bowling or trivia, just really asking teams, how did they want to get together? And then really getting out of their way and allowing them to create what that collaboration looks like. And then I think that celebrating achievements. So the more that we want to create belonging, it's really tying people into the value that they create every day. So we have really used those corporate forums to celebrate what our people are doing, whether it's a milestone like an anniversary that they have, or if they've done great work for a customer, or if they've solved a really hairy challenge. We want to make sure the whole company hears about what they're doing. And then finally, technology. So we redesigned our corporate office and our conference rooms. We fully integrated Teams. We wanted to see, can we make this experience of someone sitting in their living room and someone sitting in a conference room and someone sitting in a customer site? Can we bring them all together easily? So we made some of those technology investments to help make that happen.
When it comes to technology, what role does the tech play in your HR, your recruitment processes, and how do you leverage that then to identify and access potential candidates?
Yeah, so technology is critical for us. We have a data driven team across people and culture, whether it's marketing or recruiting or HR. So, our applicant tracking system, our human resources information system, our HRIS is also connected to the website. And so, really trying to get a view of that footprint where data is moving back and forth, and how do we use clean data to drive better decisions. So, as that workforce has continued to expand, that's really become critical for us. So, one of the big things that we've done in the last year is working really closely with our enterprise IT team, our internal IT team here at MetroStar, prioritizing integration and automation. How do these systems talk to each other? What types of dashboards can we create based on the data that it's giving us? And so, how do we learn then how an employer's data set of our employees' data set evolves from the moment they apply for a job at MetroStar all the way to when they decide that they want to take on a new role. So having those systems talking has been so critical to us. And then that leads us into recruiting. So recruiting has such a massive opportunity to leverage AI and large language models. So we get to talk about that a lot for customers, and sometimes we forget how beneficial it is inside of a company to be able to query your own data and see what type of responses you get back. So we've really been using some of those tools on our side, whether it is looking at gender coding of job descriptions, whether it is writing LinkedIn copy to promote jobs. We want to bring all of that content together and then implement it into a structured hiring process that we use, so that we can be thoughtful but also consistent in how we design that candidate experience. And then more importantly, we can move folks through our candidate pipeline a lot faster. So as everyone here knows, we are very much trying to staff the same types of roles as most companies are in the DMV. So having that type of integration and data at our fingertips really helps us move faster, and also helps us find the right talent that wants to be at a company like MetroStar, serving the types of missions that we serve.
Debbie, we know women and various minority groups have historically been underrepresented in technology. How do you approach these gaps as they relate to hybrid work?
Yeah, I mean, I think that this is a big area that we can't lose sight of. Hybrid work is really interesting because it does provide a unique opportunity to expand into underrepresented communities and reach out to folks who may not have the resources or ability to live in locations like DC, but they're just as passionate about serving a mission. So, by being more open to a dispersed workforce, that inherently allows us to bring in more women, minority groups, underrepresented communities. In the last 2 years, MetroStar has gone from being in 9 states to 33, and we were able to expand as well in the types of talent that we were bringing in, whether it's through community partnerships, university partnerships, and that embracing of hybrid and remote work has allowed us to have a more diverse and inclusive hiring practice because some of those geographical barriers have been reduced. And as well, because we've embraced the flexibility and the autonomy, we have a lot of teammates that succeed more with asynchronous schedules. We find that's especially prominent in a female workforce. So by embracing that as an organization, we've been able to up those numbers as well. So today at MetroStar, what we're really proud of is our management team, our management layer of the company is 50% female, which is a significant increase over the last 2 years. Our overall workforce is 21% female, and then 41% of our workforce is ethnically diverse. So it really is a testament to when you start to create more doors for people to walk through, you can really start to welcome those communities and through those partnerships, welcome more folks that we wouldn't have seen, I think, if we didn't embrace hybrid the way that we have. So then from here, I think as an organization and in partnership with the executive team, we think about the next challenge, which is not just the attraction of these groups, but how do we ensure that we're curating, whether it's virtual networking or mentorship, so that we can maintain equitable growth as those folks come into the organization and really begin to scale up a highly diverse workforce.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for sharing about what MetroStar is doing.
Sure. And, I think as we look forward, MetroStar is a rapidly growing company. We're so excited. We're going to celebrate our 25th anniversary here next year. So excited to reach that significant milestone. We're going to grow and exceed 500 people. So we're excited to be out in the industry. And more importantly, we're excited to be a company that a lot of people can call home, their work home, and continue to do great things for our customers and their missions.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on and talking with me today.
Of course. Thank you, Rachel.